Hey guys, so before I start this video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my friend Shannon. Her YouTube channel is Cart123. I will put a link to it. She recently did a beautiful video involving her story, and it is what has inspired me to make this video. Eating disorders. It's a very difficult topic for me to talk about, but sometimes talking about it and sharing it with others can help somebody get through it. And so I'm going to share it with you guys. I was a happy child, a very happy child. I was living a wonderful life. I did karate, I was into sports, I was into drama. I was just a very happy child. My eating disorder, you could say, technically started in 4th grade. And it all started over ADHD medication. We first found out I had ADHD in 4th grade, and the doctors put me on a medication for it. And the doctor that I had was a doctor that the state had given me through my adoption. And that doctor was not the greatest doctor. Well, he put me on this medication that made me lose my appetite. I just stopped eating, or I wouldn't eat very much. And every time my parents felt like the medication wasn't working, all he would do was up it. He'd give me a higher dose. And the higher the dose was, the less I ate. Did he ever try to change my medication? No. Sometimes he wouldn't even see me. He would just be like, okay, we're going to give you a higher dose. And that really cut back my appetite. And that went on for about a year until my parents finally were like, we're sick of this doctor, we're moving you to our primary doctor. So I got switched to their primary doctor, who was a lot better, and he instantly saw a problem with my medication. I was 58 pounds in 5th grade through 6th grade. 58 pounds. Before I got on this medication, I was 80. 58 pounds. But throughout this, people were always like, Leslie, you're so small. I wish I was as small as you were. Leslie, you're small, you're tiny. And I liked hearing that. I really liked hearing that. Throughout 4th grade, and throughout 5th grade, and throughout 6th grade, I didn't really realize what I was doing to myself when I wouldn't eat. The doctors kept being like, Leslie, you have to eat or you're gonna end up in the hospital. You have to eat. So my parents were trying to force me to eat. They were giving me the protein drinks. They were trying to get me to gain some weight. But I didn't want to do it. I remember the protein drinks, every time my parents gave it to me, when they left the room, I just poured it down the sink. I just did not want to drink them. I didn't have an appetite to start off with. And even though my medication was switched, I had to build that appetite back up, and I didn't want to, because everybody always commented on how small I was and how they wished they were this small. And those words were what kept me from eating. Believe it or not, it's a silly thing, but those words were stuck in my head, and they were what kept me from eating. I didn't realize what I was doing in 5th and 6th grade. I didn't realize that I was making myself have a disorder. I just liked how I felt, liked how I looked, liked how everybody was complimenting me. That's all I liked. It wasn't until probably 7th and 8th grade that I started to realize what I was doing to myself. But I didn't have a problem with it because To me, there was no problem. To me, I was just like everybody else. I'd get up in the morning and I'd eat just enough cereal to fulfill that hunger feeling. Then I'd go throughout the whole day. I would give away my lunch. I wouldn't eat lunch. Or I wouldn't eat throughout the whole day, and I'd eat dinner, but only enough to make that hunger feeling go away. 7th and 8th grade was really bad. And 9th grade. 9th grade was bad too. 9th grade possibly was the worst for my disorder. Not because of my size, but I had gotten to the point where I would see on social media these skinny girls and how that was beautiful and how it was great to be skinny and how everybody was always like, I wish I was skinny. I was skinny. But sometimes I didn't even see that I was skinny. Sometimes I'd look at my thighs and I'd be like, my thighs are too big. Throughout 7th through 9th grade, I was really, really bad. I would binge eat. So I would eat and eat and eat until I threw up. Or sometimes I'd eat, and as soon as I eat, I'd go make myself throw up. Because I was afraid of the calories that were in food. I was afraid that any sort of amount of calories was going to make me gain weight. I used to live off something that was called the rainbow diet. And the rainbow diet is when every day there was a color and I was only allowed to eat one thing of that color. So say it was green, I would eat a green apple or a piece of lettuce. Yellow, I would eat a banana, but only one thing per day, and I would go along the rainbow cycle. That was my diet, and I wasn't ashamed of it. Everybody knew I had a problem, but nobody ever confronted it. Nobody asked me about it. One day, one person asked me about it, and it clicked in my head, and I was like, you know what, I do have a problem, but I don't want to change it because I like how I look. All I actually wanted to do was lose more weight. I didn't care that I was already underweight. I wanted to lose more weight. I tried to go days without eating, sometimes weeks. I just drink water. Water doesn't make you fat. Water would fulfill that hunger feeling. And that's all I wanted. But once I realized how bad I was getting, I was an active person. So the more I ran, the more energy I used. I started having no energy to do what I loved, to play sports. I would get constant headaches. I would constantly feel weak, and it wasn't fun. By the end of 9th grade, I was accepting some help through the school. Just some simple school counseling where I would talk about it. At that point, some of my friends had found out. And they were huge supports. Some of the teachers knew, and they were even huge supports. But 10th, 11th, and 12th grade were interesting. 10th was hard. 10th was certainly hard. But 11th and 12th grade, things really started to look up, and they were my happiest and healthiest years, and I got plenty of pictures to show them. I started gaining weight. I was feeling better about myself. I wouldn't allow myself to gain too much weight. Throughout this whole time, I was constantly getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go on runs. I would run miles and miles a day. Then I'd go back to bed for 20 more minutes and get up to go to school. Whatever it took, I was doing. But you see, society today, even though it's getting better and they're starting to recognize disorders, it's still terrible. Young girls, teenagers, even boys, anybody can gain an eating disorder with the way society is. I mean, society has made it so if you're overweight, you're ugly. And you're not. You're not ugly at all. Everybody is beautiful. Everybody needs to learn that. Society today, magazines, some of the songs that are out there make it so everybody fantasizes this beautiful, and everybody has this definition of beautiful as skinny and strong. But how can you be strong if you have no meat on your bones, if you have no muscles, because you're not eating to allow those muscles to be strong? Everybody has to remember that no matter what society does, no matter all these diet supplements and commercials of I lost 50 pounds by eating this, it's not easy to be healthy. To be healthy costs a lot too. You have to be very wealthy to be healthy. All the healthy foods are expensive. But what's wrong with some calories once in a while? And it's not. You need calories to keep yourself moving, to give yourself energy. Without eating, you're not going to be able to do the things you love. It's not worth it in the end. Now, I am a lot happier and a lot healthier. Yes, I still have a disorder inside me. I always will. Some days I struggle more than others, but that's okay, because I remember I'm beautiful. I might not look like some of the celebrities. I might not look like some of the magazine people. But inside, I feel beautiful. Outside, I feel beautiful. And that's what matters the most. And that's what should matter to you. You don't need to be skinny to be beautiful. You just have to be you.